All right, CNT120, Chap1Lab. We just got done putting our ping results in here from layer 3, and we kind of remember that we have full connectivity through the network up to layer 3 from computer here across the network to computer here. So layer 1 cabling, layer 2 network card MAC address, layer 3 IP address, things like ping through the network. Ping is just that little data packet going to another node and a response coming back, letting us know there's connectivity. All right, layer 4 now is about TCP port numbers. Hopefully you remember, TCP port numbers identifies a particular application or process that's running on a device. So think about my computer. My computer's sitting here. I have multiple things going on at once. I have email open. I have my browser open. I might even have a streaming audio stream coming in because I'm listening to music. Well, all that data coming into my computer, all those pieces of data, my computer needs to know, well, is this a chunk of email? Is this a chunk of web page? Or is this a chunk of audio? What it does is it looks at that TCP header for the port number, and the port number will let it know, oh, this is actually a piece of web page. Go to the browser. This next one coming in, oh, that's a piece of email. Send that up to the email utility that you have open. Next one comes in, oh, that's a chunk of music for the audio stream. Either put that into the, if you're using like Pandora or something, putting it into that application that's running. It's going to use port numbers to sort them out. So we are going to look at some port numbers that are occurring when I'm doing something simple like loading a web page. Now to do that, we're going to use the sniffer that's here. There's a sniffer in the network. This is like a packet capture tool is what this is. This would be similar to Wireshark on a desktop computer. Packet Tracer has it in this little utility that you plug into the network. This is plugged in the network to a hub. Hub is a layer 1 thing. Any traffic that comes into the hub gets repeated out. So this over here will get a copy. So we are going to now take over here our Philadelphia laptop. We are going to take that cable and move it into the hub. So the laptops that's here, we're going to take this patch cable and we're going to move it into the hub. Now to do that, I'm going to need to grab the triangle that's up here, but as you see, mine's not showing. So I'm just going to I'm going to click on the triangle there to disconnect, and I'm going to reconnect. And when I do, I see the little link light show up here, so I'm going to grab this link light. Come on. And I'm going to drag it over here to the hub and just pick a port and drop it in. So again, real quickly, let me show you. I'm going to grab this link light and put it back here. If I don't see the link light here, I will just disconnect this end. I'm clicking and dragging away, then I'm going to click back on. And then once this link light up here shows, I'm going to grab that and drag it over to the hub, and I can literally use any port. So now what's going to happen is when this laptop asks for data through the network, this hub is going to repeat it, and this sniffer is going to get a copy of it, is what it's going to do. So we're going to let that port settle for a second. We're going to look at the sniffer. So I'm going to click on the sniffer that's here. And I'm going to drag this over this way just so we can look at more things than once. This is showing the actual device itself. We're going to go to the GUI tab over here, and we'll see that at the bottom a couple filters have been pre-selected. I did these for you. It's going to show DNS, web traffic, ping traffic, and TCP traffic. So it's only going to show those things out of the traffic that moves through. So what we're going to do now, we're going to open a window on our laptop, and we are going to browse into the server that's over here. Now, we're not connected to the real internet, so to speak, but I do have servers over here that are emulating, network connections, if you will. So we are going to open the browser on this laptop and load the web page that's over here. Okay, load the web page on this guy. And that web page I have configured as CNT.org. So I'm going to open the laptop, and I'm going to slide that over here, and I want to make sure my sniffer is handy, so I'm going to click on the sniffer again. So I'm going to leave the sniffer out, and I'm going to leave my laptop out. And I'm going to go to the desktop here. I'm going to make sure my IP config is good, and it is. It has a 30.101. Awesome. Again, if it doesn't look right, if it doesn't look similar to this, click static, click DHCP. Okay, that'll pick that up for you. I'm going to close that. I'm going to go back to the browser. I'm going to open the web browser that's here. And then I'm going to browse to cnt.org, www.cnt.org. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to click on my sniffer. Got to click on, there's my laptop. Yeah, when you click off things, your windows go away. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to type in here www.cnt.org. Watch your typing. Make sure that's typed correctly, and I'll click go. It's now going to request the website from the web server, and this takes a second for it to get there. And it should hopefully show me the website after a couple tries over here. Uh-oh, request timeout. So we're going to try it again. There we go. Now it loaded. Now we have a web page here, and I have some web page data over here. You notice it looked like it tried a couple times. It might be because I was moving connections around. It just hadn't settled yet. So if this over here is like too much, just click the clear button, and we'll close this out, and I'll just reload the web page. If you want a little cleaner screen, I'll just load the web browser again, and I'll reload the web page. And that'll clear out all of that so you can just look at a smaller patch of data packets. Sometimes that's easier for people to see if we do it a little cleaner like that. CNT.org. And yeah, looks like I need another W in there. There we go. Hopes that Mr. Brown types correctly, right? There we go. Now we load the web page, and what we'll see is we had some DNS, then we had some TCP, and then HTTP. Okay, so that's what I should be seeing here. And now let's look a little closer. When I typed in CNT.org, that had to go to a DNS server and get resolved. The DNS server had to respond with, hey, this is the IP address you're looking for. So if I click on that, and I'm going to open this a little bit wider, here is that DNS packet going from my computer to the DNS server. Here's the Ethernet header. If you remember about our data encapsulation process, that's the Ethernet header with the source and destination MAC address. Here's the IP header with the source and destination IP address. This is coming from the laptop going to the DNS server. Now, if you clicked one above or below, these two numbers might be flip-flopped. That's okay. We're still seeing the process. If I look at the UDP header, I'll see that this is actually port 53, so I know it's DNS. That's what 53 is. And then this is the DNS information. This is going to contain the information of, like, here is the IP address you're looking for. Okay, there's my next DNS right there. And I'll see, okay, it's flip-flopped around now. It's coming from the server back to me. Okay, that's just the first thing I wanted you to see, the DNS traffic. Now let's look at the TCP, because the DNS was just getting the IP address. We really want to look at the TCP. So I'm going to click the next one here. And what I'll see, let's look through these headers again too. We'll see the Ethernet header. This is this one right here, source and destination MAC address. Okay, source and destination MAC address. If I look at these carefully, one of these would be the laptop, one would be the server, if you will. Now if I look at the IP header, source is laptop, destination is server. That is the web server. I'm going to keep going. Under my TCP header, I'll see these first two things are the port numbers. Okay, the source port 1027, that is coming from my browser. That's a dynamic port number. Yours might be a higher or lower number than this, but it'll probably be 1,000 something. Okay, this is coming from my browser. This is dynamically assigned. Side note, if you have a browser with multiple tabs, each tab is going to have a different, port number here. That way the correct data gets to the correct tab. Okay, just a little side note for people who wondered about tabs. The destination port in this case is 80 because it's the web server we're trying to talk to. We're trying to get the web page. So this is coming from my browser to the web server. If I click the next TCP, I should see those flip around. Let me click the next TCP. I should hopefully see those flip around, coming from the web server back to me. And if I click the next one, I should hopefully see them flip around again. Do not panic if you have two in a row that are similar. Click another one or two and you should see those port numbers flip-flop. Okay, there's going from my browser back to the server. So this is me talking to the server saying, hey, please give me the web page. That's why I see these port numbers flip-flopping around. That is so my computer is talking to the correct service, in this case the web server, and vice versa. The server coming back to me gets it to my browser, and in that case, the correct tab in my browser if I have multiple tabs open. Okay, each one of these would have a different port number associated. So there is my TCP port numbers. Okay. Now, pick one of those TCP packets. It really does not matter. TCP segments. Choose one of these TCP segments. It does not matter to me which one. And I want you to record the port numbers you're seeing into your text file. So I'm going to go over here to my text file. I'm going to add a new header. Layer 4 TCP port numbers is what I'm doing. And I'll put source port and I'll put destination port. And I will record those in here. So in this case, I'm looking at my source port is 80, so I know it's coming from the web server, and the destination is 1027, so I know it's going to my browser. Okay, so 80, and then down here 1027. And again, if you pick the next one down, you'll probably see those flip-flop 1027 to 80. That is fine to use that one as well. That is fine to use that one as well, where these might be flip-flopped. That's A-OK. The big picture for me is you looking at those port numbers and realizing that is part of layer 4 and getting the data to the correct process on the correct, the correct computer, and then the correct process on that computer. All right. There is my layer 4. And we're going to leave that sniffer open as we work with layer 7. So I'm going to save this here so I don't lose my progress. And I'm going to go back here and save my packet tracer file. And the last podcast, we'll come back and do layer 7.